12 entire days, Bitcoin has been finding support at the bottom of this symmetrical triangle, currently pushing up to this 2.5-year resistance right at our target of about 9,400 USD. And as well, that perfectly lines up with this 1-month descending channel that we see on Bitcoin's 4-hour chart. The exact same price resistance at this level, which also lines up on some of these other charts. We'll show you to the upside if we can break this key target, how high Bitcoin could go. However, there are still many people speculating that we could see at least another 50% drop in Bitcoin's price before the bull market truly begins. Is this possible, and what price target to the downside at the very lowest could Bitcoin ever go back to again? And as well, Bitcoin mass adoption is still extremely far away. We're going to be talking about what the pros and cons of that are. And specifically, there's one metric that is over 50x down since the bull run of 2017 that ended at the beginning of 2018. This metric is down over 50x, not 50%, 50x. Huge. And if this metric returns back to anywhere near those levels, why that means, without a doubt, Bitcoin's price will most likely be soaring as well. And guys, Bitcoin's realized volatility did this right before the drop at the end of 2018 that we talk about very often. This drop into the ascending triangle, but similarly, something happened just at the end of this as well. So we'll be talking about that as well. We'll talk about what levels that if Bitcoin breaks today to the upside above these levels, we could easily be retesting the top of this ascending triangle again and potentially retesting that 10K level. Wow, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Monday webisode. Bitcoin's price finally starting to do something. Okay, guys, it's very important you keep an eye on these charts no matter how boring it is, because the price action for Bitcoin specifically is pretty boring. No matter how boring it is, you do want to keep an eye, because when this volatility really does increase and we see Bitcoin's price finally start to break out of some of the patterns we're going to be showing you today, you are not going to want to be left in the dust, because if you are, I think you're probably going to miss some amazing opportunities. And specifically, this most boring last 2 months, possibly, as we've been saying, could end up being one of the best opportunities for the rest of Bitcoin's future. So you want to be paying attention right now, guys. Huge. So we have a lot to get into as well. If you want to enter for this ledger, this will be the last webisode before we pick the winner in the next one. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, turn on the dings, and we can get right into the webisode. So guys, before we actually jump into the TI, I want to cover this. This was published on Yahoo Finance by Yogita Khatri. Bitcoin's mass adoption is still a dream. So I have a few points I just want to highlight and talk about here. So Bitcoin searches on Google have actually decreased exponentially since 2017. As well, the number of new Twitter followers for crypto exchanges and crypto Twitter accounts, views even on Bitcoin's Wikipedia page, and as well, obviously, the Bitcoin USD trading volumes have all gone down significantly since 2017. Okay, 2017 was a massive year for Bitcoin, and even I would even say the first 2 months of 2018 were absolutely wild. And then really towards March and specifically April and May, you see those numbers just drop, whether it be new followers on YouTube accounts, Twitter, a lot of different stuff. Now, besides Twitter accounts, Bitcoin Wikipedia page views, the Bitcoin USD trade volumes, I have another metric that this site doesn't have access to, and it's my own personal YouTube channel. So I've had this YouTube channel since the very end of 2017. Okay, so well over 2.5 years of data on the channel. And I can also say as well that, as you can see here, if you even go on Social Blade, I was gaining roughly 1,000 or 500 to 1,000 subscribers every single week back in the beginning of 2018. And back then I only had a few thousand subscribers. I had a first big spike around 500, and I still got immense amount of views and an immense amount. You can see the views down here as well. Large amounts of views and as well large amounts of subscribers back then. And that is only a small fraction of channels that had tens of thousands of subs back then. They were getting hundreds of thousands of views per week, and they were actually getting, thousands and thousands of subscribers every single week as well. Okay, then you see it really start to drop off, like I said, towards March, especially April. Okay, so there was definitely a huge spike around that time. So far this year, people have Googled Bitcoin 8 times less than they did in 2017. But what's more interesting is that exchanges picked up on average about 250,000 new Twitter followers in every single week, while the average this year has been 5,000. So that is literally a 50x difference between 250,000 new followers every single week down to 5,000 new followers every single week. And as well, during the Bitcoin halving, not that long ago, views were actually up for YouTube channels in general. And so far, views have been subsiding a little bit, especially as the price has not been doing that much. So these are all important metrics that you can pay attention to. Also, the Wikipedia views are actually 31 times lower than they were back in December of 2017 and even the first week of 2018, first month of 2018. Obviously, Bitcoin USD trading volumes are all down. Everything is down, right? What does this mean and why is this good? Well, one of the main things is that it means when another rally takes place, the market will be much more ready, basically because in the last 2 years, so many of these structures on the internet have become institutionalized. There are easier and easier ways to get into crypto, especially back in 2017, it was much more difficult. The space has come a long way since then. And so when we get another explosive growth, let's say we break to 13,000 US dollars in a week or something. Let's say it happens extremely fast. We go from 10K to 13K, overnight basically. If that happened and then continued, it didn't just fall right back down to 10K, no doubt interest would be ecstatic. Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, TradingView, everything would be blowing up. People would be joining and it'll be a huge snowball effect, right? So basically we have the structure in place now to facilitate a much bigger and stronger run than we did in 2017. However, it all comes down to the technicals. So that's what we'll jump into now. Guys, as you can see, ever since June 25th, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 entire days, Bitcoin has basically been along this bottom line and consolidated in this top line right here. But our upside target we still want to break is the 2.5-year resistance we have here, which is still this green line, which is right exactly at about 9,400 US dollars. It's still the strong resistance, I think, that we want to break. Currently, we're actually moving up around 93.30, 93.40 now. So again, there is some momentum, and I think this could end up playing out throughout the day. But the thing we want to watch for, guys, is a return. A lot of people are talking about a potentially 50, even 60% drop. We'll talk about that a little at the end of the episode because it plays into some of these other longer term patterns. But right now, momentum is definitely pushing up, and we had 12 entire days where we could have broken out of this ascending triangle, which we did not. Now, this is actually a pretty big ascending triangle. So this ascending triangle actually could end up being the same size as this ascending triangle that broke us to 14,000 US dollars in the summer of 2019. So just a year ago, actually. Ended up breaking out at the beginning of April. I think it was literally April 1st when it broke out. But it was about a 4 or 5 month consolidation here after a big drop. And it went up, massive amounts. A lot of altcoins absolutely exploded with it as well. And that's kind of where this article comes in with this volatility. This is exactly what we're talking about here. The last time we reached this level, we had a huge sell-off. And it really culminated because the volatility, the realized volatility here was suffering so much. So there was just barely any volatility, and that culminated. You can see here, the end of November went from 6,400 down to 3,130 roughly, so over a 50% drop in a very, very short amount of time. And so this article is basically saying, because our volatility is so low, it's pretty much saying, which everyone agrees with, we're going to see a massive, massive move soon. This article is leaning more towards we might get another bearish drop, but I don't think the market would be that predictable to just repeat exactly. And actually, currently, we're already forming an ascending triangle similar to this. So ultimately, there are a lot of indications showing that actually the break would be to the upside instead. And that, again, that would start the entire market. In terms of this macro structure, we have put in more than enough time that we could actually break out for sure, for good, out of 10, 13, 14, 15K and never come back to those 10K levels. So if we did get an ascending triangle breakout that we have here out of this, I don't think we would ever go under 9,000 ever again, potentially even 10,000. And I want to revisit this theory as well about this inverse head and shoulders. If we really want to see this, ideally I would have wanted to see this actually a week or two ago. I would have wanted to see this really break the 87, 88 right here. And so far it didn't, guys. It's been holding there for way too long. And the longer that this area just proves unable to be broken below, then again, this inverse head and shoulders just does not seem like it will have any juice. Unless we actually sharply revisit 88 and 87 again and concretely break it and at least come down to the 82 or $8,300 level, again, we can't really say this is going to happen. So as long as we remain above the 88, 87, as we've been saying, there's really no need to even look to see this as a possibility. We could test 89 and 9,000 for the next 30 days, and I still wouldn't think this would have any more validity until we actually break the key level that we've been not being able to break below. And guys, as you can see on this chart, this is where it gets most exciting because we have the potential to see a massive breakout here where we have this descending channel, and you can see we're literally exactly at the very, very, very top of this right now. When I started the video, we were not. Okay, so over the last 10 minutes, it's actually increased by about another $100 or so there. So very interesting. We could be seeing a massive break here soon if it breaks out of this pattern. This is considered a bullish pattern. This is a bullish pattern. Our more macro term, potential bearish pattern, like we just said, it's never going to come true as long as we keep getting these very strong bounces at this particular level, which we keep getting. And as well, right now is a crucial area because this is the 2.5-year resistance. This is this ascending channel we've been in for 3 months. And this is 7-year support right here. And you can see price is literally just right in that area with everything going on there. If we actually would get a breakout here, maybe even to the top of this ascending triangle, and then over the next few weeks or even sooner get a break above this, guys, that actually looks beautiful on this chart. And as soon as we break this level right here, and I'll give you the exact, at least the $9,700 level again, then we get incredibly bullish. We don't even have to come all the way up to 10K to get pretty bullish right here in the short term. As long as we get above 97 and hold that, that's very bullish. And guys, most importantly here as well, this descending volume here, this is going to indicate the breakout. So you can see this is consolidating. Ultimately, if we break out, I think we're going to break out for sure within the next 2 weeks. At the latest, I have July 20th right now. So that literally gives us exactly 2 weeks from today. So I think we're going to see an actual breakout. A breakout the size we haven't probably seen since actually June of 2019. I think we're going to get a giant actually macro breakout sometime in the next 2 weeks, the size of the breakouts that we saw, back in the summer of last year. It's not going to be these little breakouts that we see on the chart here and there. I'm actually talking about a pretty macro breakout. Again, if we get, I think would be the final breakout to actually propel us to new all-time highs, okay? First starting with like 14 and 15K, and then obviously breaking above that, what that would look like on these charts in the entire last 2.5 years, be all the way up here. Okay, so obviously that is a massive structural break right there. It would create such a macro higher high, which again, if we would break to 15K, I guarantee you everybody in the space would become mega bullish. The bearish people, they're not expecting that at all, and if we actually broke above 10, 11, and got all the way to 15K, I guarantee everybody would turn bullish and the space would probably accelerate a lot faster. Huge. So again, guys, I think we're actually finally coming to the end of this. As many people have said, and I've said as well, July is going to be the month of a breakout, regardless of it is within the next 2 weeks. I definitely think we're finally going to be ending, thank goodness, the boringness this month. Okay, so one way or another, if we break down or up, it's going to happen this month without a doubt, I think. And as long as we remain to hold these levels, which we just got another strong bounce at the bottom of this after testing this for basically 2 weeks, that could indicate that we're heading higher for right now. But again, strong resistance most likely where we are exactly right now. You can see on all of these charts, this is a very key level. We have resistance here. This is basically right about here, which is a much bigger resistance in terms of longer time frame there. And as well, this is exactly where the 50-day moving average is. Right in between the 21 and the 50-day moving average, actually, you can see right here. So heavy resistance in these areas, but if we get a break up to the upside and get to at least 9,700, then this could accelerate a lot faster. We will see volume come in much faster. We'll see it spike like it did back in April of 2020, or even similar to March of 2020. However, back in March was kind of a sell-off. Okay, we could see a massive pump, the opposite of that here. Wow, huge, guys. So definitely make sure to leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about that. As well, make sure to leave your comments so you can enter for this ledger. We'll be doing the giveaway tomorrow. And guys, if you're looking for new cryptocurrencies, a new app to buy cryptocurrencies, check out Crypto.com app. Linked in the comments and descriptions. If you use the link below, you and I both receive $50 free of MCO when you sign up. And as well, you guys, Ledger is still doing 20% off if you vote for a Ledger Nano X. So take advantage of this. If you click here and you just copy and paste whichever coin you want to vote for, you will receive 20% off your Nano X at checkout, guys. Absolutely huge.